Alright, I really don't know what this video is going to be about, but let's talk about sexual polarity, the divine masculine, feminine. Physical attraction, spiritual ecstasy, and intimate connection, they play the largest role in love relationships. And I feel like exploring the foundation of proper polarity and loving in intimate relationships start from the root, and they offer resolution, and they focus on like the reality of these connections, like the other things that play into the theme. So the foundation of what love is supposed to look like, it usually becomes unbalanced during the upbringing, because what we experience in our childhood actually acts as like our guidebook. It acts as the blueprint for how we'll connect or reject the outside world. And usually it is rejection, and it becomes really detrimental to us because it influences and it triggers the individual's mentality and reality when it comes to giving and receiving love. And we have to be aware of our true nature, like how it manifests in the outside world. And I've talked about this so many times, like how my true nature manifests as a masculine energy in the outside world. And I had to accept that. I had to accept that and cultivate my innate energy into my foundation so that I can attract someone who's actually complementary to me. And I feel like I'm doing a good job so far. I operate as a divine masculine, but I am feminine. I can be the most feminine, loving of all loving creatures ever. But it would behoove of the person outside of me operating in their strength, their balance, their power, and allowing me to move out of my observant, silent, or withdrawn kind of energy. They permit me to be in that loving, giving, sensual space, right? That's why it's easier for two things of opposite nature to come together and like work, because most people don't have the discipline to understand and embrace that what we put out to attract is going to be like the opposite of our energy. And we can only attract what we deserve when we release what we desire or have grown accustomed to. And this extends beyond just romantic relationships, friendships as well. It's essential to have closeness and trust that is needed to sustain any connection. And there are all types of things we can focus on, like intimacy, thrill, sensuality. Those are usually the keys that help us peel back the layers of ourselves to reveal the work that needs to be done on the soul's individual level when it comes to intimate relationships, because most people have insecurities surrounding those things. What excites them, what makes them feel supported and connected, and what allows them to be vulnerable. And this is why I say communication is the only lifeline to fix depolarizations in connections. The masculine has to embrace the wild and kind of destructive feminine force, while the feminine needs to not shrink herself or itself when faced with strength and power outside of this wild and like destructive energy. We have to learn how to trust each other's wisdom. It's a huge part in relating with others. Being not only trusting yourself, but trusting the other as well. And when we resolve our limiting beliefs and hurts from previous relationships, that's where this vulnerability and communication really comes into play. You have to be able to communicate what it is you've experienced or what may trigger you, and be held accountable for that, because no one outside of you is responsible for what triggers you, especially if they're not in the know. And this is why I said, if people say like my past is off limits, we cannot talk about that, then that's not someone that you're going to successfully build or grow with. And that's why I advise, like, if it doesn't want to be moved, don't touch it. And that is literally it. It's not about abandoning someone who needs help or people like me being the reason why people remain in their trauma and dispositions. It's not a reality over here. Not this way. You all have to understand and understand and perhaps even overstand the fact that, you know, the brain is a creature of habit, and any change is going to be very uncomfortable, even if it's good for you. And people have a really hard time processing that, especially if they find themselves beyond that 30 age mark. Some people really don't think they could be told anything. But listen, I'll be 60, I'll be 80, and I will remain teachable no matter what. I love learning. Help me, help you, help myself. You know what I'm saying? It's a ripple effect. And in our energies, in the masculine and feminine, we're, you know, it only works this way. It's just like, it's fine, it's this, but this is much more stronger and much more powerful and much more peaceful, to be honest. I can't stand to be a part of a world that's constantly destroying itself. And not just like the world, but the people also. We're all about destroying, dispositioning, causing dis-ease and discomfort in others as to gain power, gain a sense of control. I don't know how, because that would just make me feel like shit. I would never want to control anything. The only things I want to be in control of is me, my emotions, my feelings. And I'm going to say, most of the people watching this video, if someone did something to piss you off, you know, you wouldn't be able to control yourself. If someone made you upset or sad, you wouldn't be able to control that flow of emotions. Instead, you would fall into the entrapments of that energy. And this is why I'm practically begging everyone to just sit with yourself and develop your foundation as to not be shaken or stirred in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to use my time in Jamaica for a perfect example. Like, I don't know what people think I am or who they think I am, but I am developed in every fucking aspect of this world and beyond. And there's nothing I can't do. There's nothing I can't be. There's nothing that outside of me that is like, oh, a reach for me. I have sat with myself and I've been silent enough and observant enough to take in the knowledge and apply it. Therefore, I've become so wise. It's so unfair to meet someone and then for them to be saying like, you don't know this, you don't know that, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that, or like, you always need to be win, you always need to be right. Those kinds of things, if people are being that way to you, understand that they have really unhealed aspects of their masculine and feminine energies just spiraling about, causing chaos within their being and causing chaos within their perception. Therefore, they're not able to receive nor give. I talked about gluttony a lot, how even in relationships, people just want to consume. And then when it's time for them to give, they act like it's the biggest thing. It shakes their foundation. It rocks their world, because it's like, oh, now you're asking me to pour out when you've been pouring in this whole time. Why are you going to stop pouring in? Why are you going to do this, huh? You're switching it up, but it shouldn't be like that. It should always be like, you should be able to flow and go. And you remember, I don't do cyclic. I don't do that. We're doing circular motions, and we're rising in those circles. I know I'm not doing full circles, but you know what I mean. I would rather be single and happy in my lonesomeness than to be projected upon and just like essentially trying to be destroyed. People, for some reason, need to destroy others to build themselves up, and I think that's so strange and peculiar. But please don't be like most people, because there's so much in this world that could be reciprocated. There's so much in this world that could be expanded upon. There's like infinite possibilities here, but we're only limited to so much because of our cyclic emotions and patterns as human beings. But I'm not here for that, and I'm gonna help everyone move out of that. So stay tuned. I will be posting how-to videos, like how to get out of stress, how to get out of a bad relationship, how to control your emotions. All these things, I've been blessed with spirit. They're like, hey, post the stuff, share the actual wisdom with people so they can apply the knowledge and become wise themselves. So I'm here to wake you up, guys. So many blessings and so much bliss your way. Peace.